All right, it's time for the online degeneracy tier list. So here's how I'm going to organize it. So if you're at the top of the tier list, you are the most degenerate. You're the most random, crazy, scary, and effective online character that there is. So you're straight prokaryote, single cell organism. As we go down, you get a little bit more and more evolved, and eventually you become one with the universe. You're just as clean as it gets, even online. So the way I'm basing it, what I'm thinking is, it's not just going to be effectiveness, it's going to be how common they are. For instance, I'll throw out an example. There's some online nutty Karens, but I don't think they're that effective. So that's gonna influence it. But if there's, for instance, there's a lot of online Ryus, so that's gonna kind of make me push them a little bit higher on the list. So it's gonna be a combination of how often online degeneracy results from the character and online gameplay, and also how effective it is. Because some character designs just cause people to play like morons online. We're gonna involve that in the tier list, so we'll go ahead and get started. Ed, what do you guys think? Online Ed players are crazy. There's a ton of online degeneracy going on with Ed players. You can't give people online 3-button mash DP, no motion required, just straight buttons. They're definitely kicking the router the whole time. But I don't think this character is that effective. I think there's a lot of them. I think his design makes people play super degenerate, but I don't think it's the most effective thing. It's definitely pretty effective. It's not single cell prokaryote. I don't know. I'm gonna put them the goldfish tier. The less evolved you are, the higher up in the tier list you are. So if you want to be an online degenerate, you want to be at the top. If you're the cleanest of the clean, even online, you're gonna be at the bottom. I'm gonna do multicellular organism. Ed players have nuclei. I can give them that much. All right, Fong. Fong players online are definitely just mashing sweep all day. I haven't seen too many Fongs abuse the flying in season 4. That might bump them up a tier list or two, but I don't know. Online Fong is not effective. They do random EX, like whatever it's called, the EX arm move, but that's about it. And they do random ass sweeps, but if you punish the sweeps, what else are they gonna do? I don't know. I don't think they're that common, nor are they that effective. I'm putting in a what do we call this? This is in between. They're almost on land, but not quite. Zeku. This character is definitely more degenerate than Fong. Online Zekus definitely have an online style. It's that kind of style that you haven't seen since Street Fighter 4. They're spamming slide. They're spamming off the wall kicks. They abuse Zeku flip. Zeku's up here. Actually, I think he might be on this tier. When I play against online Zekus, and they're nutty, it's hard to deal with. They back roll with young Zeku and mash crouching medium punch or standing medium punch. They back roll and do their medium because they're just like, I don't care and I'm just gonna do it. Transform, full screen, run, slide. Yeah, they're degenerate. They got nuclei, but they're up there. Sakura, I don't know. I might base my entire Sakura opinion on Juhan. That guy's a nut. Sakura can be pretty scary. I think she's more effective than Fong in a lot of ways, but I don't think Sakura players tend to play her that crazy. She's on land? That's true. Sakura can be pretty degenerate in the right hands, but she's solid enough that it encourages people to play her kind of in a safe manner. Yeah, there's more effective ways to be nutty. All right, Chun mains. It ain't season 1, it's been a long time. You see online Chuns, but I don't think they're scary. They're just autopilot. I mean, they have the best 3-frame in the game, though. That crouching light kick is full screen reach. They will definitely match it, and it's a crouching 3-frame, which makes it pretty strong against a lot of setups. I'm torn. I haven't seen any nutty Chuns in a long time. Just autopilot. Chun is bipedal. Yeah, made it to land, walking around, mostly upright. All right, Falke. Hard to tell. I feel like most Falks I play online don't know how to play. Like their game plan isn't all there yet. They're kind of just doing things. It seems like they feel like a Fong tier to me. It's not that scary, but it doesn't seem very structured. Falk seems not very nutty. I don't know. They're pretty degenerate. They always jump back in the corner. It's not exactly nuttiness. It's just degenerate. They definitely don't play any kind of solid ground game. It's just not scary. It's annoying. They stay jumping around in the corner, running away. I don't know. I don't think that's very evolved in my mind. If you jump back in the corner, to me, the moment I see you jump back in the corner, I think this about you. If you jump back in the corner more than once against me, like just in neutral, I start thinking you're lacking some nuclei. So I'm gonna put her here. All the Falk players I play in ranked, they jump back in the corner. It's not that effective, but they definitely got a little ways to go. They're not standing their ground, so they're going to be halfway to land. All right, Karin. Yo, Karin players are nutty. There are definitely some crazy Karin players straight out of Season 1 still existing on Twitch. Or, excuse me, on CFN. They still exist. They dash up, they overhead in your face. I played some guy in ranked on stream the other day who all he did was do full screen overheads and then do the follow-ups non-stop. He definitely got cooked because those gimmicks haven't worked since Season 1, but that's literally the only thing he did. I definitely think there's nutty Karins, but they're not effective. Karin is just super strong. I don't think Karin players are that nutty. They're autopilot. They're kind of like autopilot tier. Every once in a while, I see Karin players play this style, but it's very ineffective. They stand on the ground for the most part. It's kind of like a ploy. I think really they're probably goldfish level, but their moves, Karin's moveset carries you. So you look like you're smarter than you are. We'll put her here. Karin players all think they're over here though. Every single one of them. Sim players are mashing buttons non-stop 24/7. I can't even knock them because they're actually the best character mains in the game at mashing jab. Seriously, they are so good at checking your pressure with that 4-frame jab. It's actually insane how crazy good they are at mashing. Sim gets super vortexy too, but I feel like to vortex with Sim against anyone who knows the matchup, you got to be a little bit over here. Sim is cheap, but he's not that effective played at this level anymore. You'll get annoyed by them mashing jab all day, but it's Sim, bro. Is Sim fully evolved? See the first one? Let me get some perspective from the chat. See, at my rank and the players I play against, I only see like decent Sims. But I feel like if I went to lower ranks, Sims would be super ham. Yeah, what level of play are we talking about? It's biased for me because at the upper ranks, the Sims that float up to that level, pun intended, are usually, I got to give them a little bit of credit, they're usually more structured. Every lower ranked match is ham, yeah, it's hard to tell. No one plays Sim below plat, they don't survive, they get eaten alive there. Sims always got to outplay you, that's not true. That's not true. You saying that Sims always got to outplay you makes you want to put Sim here. Sims are vortex monsters. All right, am I allowed to give my opinion on this one? You know, I haven't played that much Rognir in a long time until recently. Online Rogs are pretty ham. I was actually surprised. It was pretty scary. They were going in. He's up here for sure. Sometimes, oh man, is he multicellular, goldfish, or single cell? He's in the top 3. Goldfish? When I play Rogs, they may be going ham, but it's almost similar to how he plays offline. These guys don't play like their offline selves. You know what I mean? He's more degenerate online. He's degenerated from his true offline representation. Yeah, they go ham, but Rog can sort of go ham effectively offline. But these dudes do not look like how they play offline at all. So I'm gonna put him goldfish here. Rashid is one of the last vestige of those Street Fighter 4 gimmick characters. I see dudes in Super Diamond all the time who know 3 moves. They know 3 moves. It's literally a mini game. You're not playing against a human. It feels like you're playing against a CPU, a pre-programmed entity that knows 3 moves, and you just have to crack the code. It's like a Dark Souls boss. There's just a pattern to it. It's crazy. I cannot believe that this character archetype and moveset, like those people can't progress past that point because all they know is those 3 things. So anyone who understands that beats them every time. But because the gimmicks are so powerful, they're able to maintain that level. They're not going to get anywhere offline playing that way, but online, you can get the Super Diamond knowing 3 moves because you have to know so much more about Rashid than the Rashid main does in order to stop them from playing that playstyle. No nuclei in this man online. Obviously, that's not effective at high level play, but in Street Fighter 4, I keep bringing up this comparison. If you didn't play Street Fighter 4 online, that game had an entirely different meta and tier list online. Completely separate game once you added a little bit of lag. The playstyles that you saw fester and develop online in Street Fighter 4 were 1000% different. It was a completely different game online. And in Street Fighter 5, for the most part, how you play online is similar to how you play offline, except Rashid. Rashid is one of those characters where I can see that type of online mentality where people are just doing things over and over because you're not able to react or punish appropriately because of the online factor. Very rarely with 5 do you see that happening, but with this character you can see it. You can tell when that's an online Rashid. All right, Cammy. Whew, this character. Online Cammy? You know you're playing an online Cammy when they V-skill on you. I think she's up here. What they're doing is almost representative of what you would do offline. They just take it to another level. Non-stop mashing. You see weird play styles for Cammy players. hooligans all day, weird V-skill pressure that does not exist in offline play. If you have a play style that does not exist offline entirely, and it's very common in ranked, I'm putting you at least at multicellular organism. She's close, but I think that what she does when you see like ham online Cammy players, they're sort of playing how you could play offline. Crouching heavy punch is the only button when they get V-trigger. Yeah, but that's the only button they get when they have V-trigger, even for high-level play offline. So, oh well. Alex. Contrary to what Demon Dan would have you believe, I don't think these guys are at the top. I don't think they're prokaryotes. They're pretty ham. They're around this tier to me because it's just not that effective. Every once in a while, they get something going, and then you end up on Twitter with a custom 80s style metal theme. But, you know, Alex players got to do what they got to do, and if you play them offline, I think it would be one and the same. I'm going Goldfish. All right, Ken. Online Ken has had this reputation for years, for a lifetime pretty much. Single cell? Online Ken is definitely scary, but I don't think he's not single cell because he's not that effective. I mean, if you're below like platinum, it's probably all you deal with. This is where we're gonna have the split based on what rank you're playing in. Low ranks, he's single cell for sure, but so is like 90% of the cast. I don't think he's single cell. Fully evolved? Fully evolved or one with the universe? I don't know. I guess it depends. This tier list kind of comes full circle if you really think about it. This is more like a circular tier list where it all connects. I don't know. I don't think he's that crazy. To me, he's Goldfish or multicellular. Because I feel like the Cammy is like way more effective than Ken. I'm gonna do multicell. Guile. All I know is there's this Guile player, and I think he's Dominican. He's not Kaba, but all he does is upside down kick and crouching light kick and jump back super, and he beats me every single time we play ranked. So what does that say about me? Guile's the king of autopilot. Yeah, autopilot doesn't make you degenerate. You're not gonna be brain expanding going autopilot. I feel like Guile's either autopilot or a little bit degenerate, so I'm gonna put him at this tier. He's not quite on land yet, but he's going through the motions. Bison. They are pressing buttons non-stop. Top row are Riot. I mean, they got the plus frames for days too. There are so many autopilot Bisons and ranks. So many. Don't need a brain when everything is plus. You might not be telling a lie. I don't think anyone is on Rashid level so far. The Bison lag factor is real. Yeah, Bison players are laggy. That is a fact. Invisible dash online? Ooh, you're speaking my language right now. You're up here. Plus frames all day, invisible lag dash. Autopilot is all hell. Random ass EX moves. I don't think online has rotted Bison players' brains that much though. I think Bison's here. It's effective. They can play kind of brain dead online, but at least it follows a pattern. This is Rashid's own category. Rashid might be alone up here, to be honest. We'll have to see. All right, Ryu. This one might be controversial. I think Ryu is definitely Goldfish minimum. The only reason I'm not putting them higher is because they're forced to play that way. Ryu players are nuts. They're insane. They're dashing all day. They're mashing V-trigger 2 parries now. They're DPing constantly. They just play weird. All the people who stuck with Ryu, they're already just crazy enough to begin with. And being morphed from online play, they're not higher because it's just not the most effective way to play. So I don't think they get as much success playing that way, but their play styles are nuts. Yeah, you don't want to lose to an online Ryu because then they're like, oh, I totally beat you with solid fundamental play. It ain't solid. I'll tell you that much. They use Ryu as an excuse for being random. That is 1000% true. We'll go to Birdie. Online Birdie. Online Birdie? Online Birdie? If this was season 3, season 2, maybe he'd be up here. I mean, where's that yo bitch hold that? EX Dolphin Dive, unwhiff punishable buttons. I always see Birdie players non-stop mashing buttons in neutral because, you know, they think it's because they're trying to fake people out so they can't react to things. But it's really because when you mash buttons online, Capcom's netcode can't handle the inputs and it causes more rollback. And then they randomly do something. I see Birdie players that play in a way that I would never expect a human to play offline. It's not as effective, I think, as Rashid, but it's just, their brains have been so corrupted by online. I don't know. The effectiveness makes me want to lower it. It's just so, they're so far gone. And the playstyle is so out of left field, it almost cannot be comprehended. A shell of any sort of thinking man. Yeah, I don't know if there's any return, but it's not the most effective thing in the world. All right, I'm going to lower it. I still think Rashid's on another level. Kage. I don't know where to rank this guy. Honestly, online Kage is not nutty at all. He's almost too honest in a weird way. I don't know. Every Kage I run into is not really doing anything yet. Yeah, he's kind of honest. The only thing is he has that demon. That demon is kind of cheap with the V-Trigger 1 or 2, the hard knockdown. He just sucks. Yeah, he does kind of suck, I think. I don't think playing nutty with him is effective because he lacks confirms at a lot of ranges, and you can easily mess up your combo confirm into a DP and then just lose half your life. It's like, well, if you're going to play nutty with Kage, you might as well play nutty with Akuma. He's not an effective nutty character, and I don't really see any degenerate Kages online. He might be the first fully evolved human. Every Kage I run into, I'm like, yeah, I could imagine playing that in an offline casual set. But it might just be too soon in his life. He hasn't been corrupted by rollback and net play. Ooh, online Laura. If I had to compare Laura to the people in this tier, besides maybe Birdie, I think she'd be Rashid tier. There's so many Laura players that are just not playing Street Fighter. They just do a few sequences in a row. You can tell they have that same sort of vibe from online Rashid players where they don't know the full game, they just know their mini game, and you're playing a weird mini game when playing against them. They do the same sort of habitual patterns and sequences because that wheel of options that they've known, even though it's like 10% of the character's total potential, that wheel of options is so gimmicky that it's able to carry them through to like super diamond ranks. And when you play them, they don't stray from those patterns. Yeah, I still think Rashid is ahead of Laura, but I'm gonna put her in this tier. Sagat players, they're pretty honest. I've never really seen any super nutty Sagat players. Is he fully evolved human? V-Trigger 2 does give him the access to be a little nutty, but I don't really see it used that much. Bipedal, Homo sapien, standing heavy kick is fucked up. His standing heavy kick is really good, but I don't see people mashing it all day. They use it a lot, online Sagats, but they're not smacking the stick and hoping for something to happen. They're just playing the game. Abigail. He's fallen off on the degen tier list. He's fallen off. That command grab nerf definitely knocked him down a tier or two for me. Abigail's above everyone else? I don't think so anymore. I don't think the effectiveness of playing like a nut is quite there anymore. The new degenerate V-Trigger is definitely V-Trigger 2. Where could he be? He's not, yeah, he's honestly not that crazy anymore. I don't see any crazy Abigails. Or maybe they all fell off and quit. He evolved to Goldfish? I don't know, I don't think he's that nuts. I feel like online Rogs are nuttier than online Abigails. But it's more effective. Alright, I'll put it here. Goldfish tier. It's more effective than these guys playing nutty. Nikali. Oh man. Yeah, let me just make up some room. You already know, once he pops V-Trigger, every Nikali is this tier. Once Nikali pops V-Trigger, all of them are this tier. Easy. Moving on. Vega. Online Vegas are... What? They're hella nutty. In fact, they almost belong in this tier for how far gone their brains are. But the problem is, it's not that effective. I can't put them at this tier because it's just not effective enough. They're just gonna make you hate your life, but they're not gonna get wins. But they have this same sort of mentality where they're playing their own minigame. It's just not effective. But they are degenerate. Putting them in this tier. No, I think Vega players play just as nutty as these guys for sure. Effectiveness, he's like Goldfish tier or this guy, but he's so nutty, I'm moving up here. There's no honest characters online. I mean, we're not done with the, we got some more characters to go. Some honest bunch of characters here. Ibuki. Online Ibuki. It's been a while since season 2. We can't let our season 2 biases affect our opinions, or season 3. She's a little bit nerfed in the nuttiness department. I think it's Goldfish also. Ibuki's cheap as hell, but I don't feel like Ibuki players have to rely on being super nutty because the characters are so good to begin with that they don't morph, right? They just get their Rida hard knockdowns and then mix. You might see some Ibuki players online do a bunch of command dashes and everything, but that shit just gets blown up once people understand what's going on. Online command dash is what brings her up here, but it's not the end of the world. She's just cheap offline too. Oh boy, online Mika. Multi-cell? I think it's a multi-cell as well. She's just, the consequence for letting her get in once is so high. any random little bit of rollback and she taps her heavy kick or dashes at you or charges up and you think you have time to check it and you get crush countered, and then it's just all over. Mashing V trigger. There's so many things that inspire players to just go ham with her in an online environment. They just have to get the knockdown. Do whatever it takes. Kick the router and go in. Just get that knockdown. She's multi-cell. You definitely see Mika players play that online meta for sure. Nash. There's crazy online Nash hits for sure, but it's just not that effective. And there's definitely a lot of autopilot ones too. He has a fast dash, but it's been nerfed, so they still abuse it, but it's not the end of the world if they get in. Even if they dash up throw you, whatever. Right? So I think they play a little bit nutty, but it's just not that threatening. Bipedal? Nah, I don't think he's bipedal. He has V-Trigger 1 shenanigans that people just hope and pray they get something off of. They just do it. Nash plays similar to Ryu, I think, but I think online Ryu is more effective than online Nash, where they're both desperate and trying to compensate for the flaws in their character, and they go more hand than they should. I think Nash is more nutty than Guile, at least the Nashes I play against. I'm putting in this tier. Urien. I think when you have such a crazy comeback V-trigger, it just inspires you to just do anything, because why not? Any random touch, any random confirm, it might mean lights out, it might mean you outplay your opponent. Single cell? You do see a lot of Urien players that play in a way that you cannot fathom someone offline playing. You do see that. Especially if they pick V-Trigger 2. If they pick V-Trigger 2, they're not even attempting to play Street Fighter at that point. I feel like Rog and Urien have the same game plan. Not really. I mean, and I think they have similar game plans until the V-Triggers are involved, and I think Urien can go more ham with the V-Trigger in some ways. Or he's more likely to open you up. Full screen EX tackle with V-Trigger 2. I see enough V-Trigger 2 Uriens make it to Diamond and above who don't know anything besides V-Trigger 2 to put them up here. It's the V-Trigger 2 Uriens putting you guys up here, I'm sorry. The V-Trigger 1 guys are kind of down here, but V-Trigger 2 users, oh my god. No nuclei. All right, Zangief. Online Zangief. Every once in a while I get blown up by an online Zangief, but I just think it depends on how laggy they are. And there's not too many online laggy Zangiefs that I run into, so it's not a problem. But the moment there's any lag, he's like, it's up here. But for the most part, if there's not lag, I feel like most online Zangiefs are going ham, but they're not doing it that great. And if you compare and contrast offline to online Zangief, it's the same shit. You get command grabbed and you guess. Once the command grab lands, it has nothing to do with reactions online, offline, you're just guessing. So it's more all the neutral game leading up to that command grab. But I have seen some nutty Zangiefs, and it's very effective if they have any amount of lag. It's either Goldfish or this tier, but there's not that many nutty Geefs online, that I see at least. You can't go ham with the Geef? No, but you can lag. So it depends on lag. So if they're laggy, they're up here, but for the most part, they're not. I'll put them here. All right, Menat. You know, this character used to be a problem. I don't see any Menats anymore at all. And even then, you can't go that ham with her. Her V-Trigger 1 is 3 bars, so you have to make sure that shit counts. You gotta optimize it, and to be able to do V-Trigger 1 mix-ups, you have to practice execution. I don't think you get to be Galaxy Brain to use V-Trigger 1. You just have to practice the combo and learn like 150-50. To optimize her, all the mix-ups, you have to be Galaxy Brain, but to be effective with her, you don't. You just have to know the combo. She's fallen off. They play clean online. When's the last time I ran into a Menat player? They play pretty clean. They don't have any V-Trigger 2 unblockables. She can't just spam heavy punch anymore. At least not against Rog. I can whiff punish that a lot easier with EX dash punch. Is anyone really expanding brain tier online? All right, they're playing like Street Fighter. They're playing Street Fighter. Blanka. This dude in Street Fighter 4 used to be the king of all online. The king of the online warriors. This dude changed the meta for Street Fighter 4 online entirely. In Street Fighter 5, he still has EX Rainbow Ball. Regular Rainbow Ball is still hard to deal with. V-Trigger 2 is insane. However, I don't know. I don't feel like the online Blanka players are this tier. They're just kind of boring. They press jab, jab, and then do crouching fierce over and over, and then do a Rainbow Ball. I think they're kind of just autopilot. And then the people doing the crazy V-Trigger 2 stuff are like Wolfgang, and they do that offline as well. He has a nuclei at least. You do see a lot of people just doing jab, jab, crouching fierce over and over. That's their pressure. And his jump-ins are kind of wonky, his hurtbox and his jump-ins, so you see people who like do jab, jab, cross up over and over, kind of like autopilot. He's honestly not that degenerate online. He's just, his V-Trigger is just degenerate no matter what. His stupid full screen command grab. I don't see people abusing that much. Sweep activate is whack. True. That's what Ryu's fished for all day. I don't know. I think these guys are nuttier online than this guy. Cody. Cody's kind of similar to Blanka to me because his V-Trigger 2 is absolutely degenerate, but without V-Trigger 2, you see them spamming EX Zonk. I see a lot of Codys do super unsafe cancels to the ruffian kicks and just hope people walk into it or get hit low or something, and that is so punishable, but they still do it. Blows my mind. But I don't think it's that effective because the degenerate Codys mash V-skill and get themselves killed. It's not that effective. The reward from a random V-skill is so low compared to the damage they take. He's here only because of V-Trigger 2. Maybe here. Nah, he has EX Bingo. He's definitely up here at least. Juri. There are a lot of online Juris, and half of them spam low forward to light pinwheel over and over like it's not punishable, and the other half are spamming standing medium kick and all my strings like I'm not about to crush counter them for disrespecting my plus frames. Chat room saying human, Galaxy Brain. Juri players online are non-stop mashing. Juri players online are going ham. She might not be the most effective, but I think Juri players are going ham online. Spamming standing medium kick all day. Dash up throws all day. You can't react to her walk up throw loop. They are moving. They're doing some online only techniques. Is it the end of the world playing one? No. I'll put it here just because of the effectiveness. I think a lot of online Juris all share some degenerate habits, but it's not the most egregious offenses. Kolin. Man, it's hard to rate these characters when their V-Trigger 2s are just so broken. Online Kolin, what does it differ? I feel like most online Kolin players haven't unlocked the inherent degenerate potential of the character. The character is not degenerate because they're online. The character is degenerate because they're degenerate, and they haven't unlocked it. So I don't think being online has anything to do with the craziness you see out of Kolin. It's just built into the character. I think most Kolins online are trying to unlock that, but they're just not fully there yet. I say not quite on land yet, because I don't see many online Kolins that are just like mashing fierce all day and dashing up with their ice skates. Actually, I do see them, but the problem is offline it's the same thing. My problem is she's just as degenerate offline as she is online. So I don't think online adds an extra edge to it. She's just nuts. All right, G. This character is a walking disaster. It's just about fishing for that V-trigger. It's 1000% about fishing for that V-trigger. However, I think the online factor with G carries a lot of players in the lower ranks, but I don't think it's that effective. They taper off quickly. He's hard to do effective anti-airs with. Like, to really squeeze all the juice out of this character, honestly, you gotta play good. You gotta have good anti-airs. You gotta have good conversions. All the online Gs just spam the 50-50s with V-Trigger 1, and they play kind of degenerate, but it's not really the full character, except for that first 50-50 with V-Trigger 1. I mean, if they get V-Trigger 1 going, anyone can win. But outside of that, he's not that crazy. Because what's crazy about him is his neutral, his jab and everything. And online Gs are not abusing that neutral like they could be. So, I don't know. If he activates V-Trigger 1, he's here, obviously. But online Gs, I kind of maul them. When I play against G players who aren't like top tier players, they get mauled. Every once in a while I lose, but that's just because the nature of the beast. With V-Trigger, I think he's goldfish. I feel like most G players are just playing G. I said Akuma for last for a reason. Did I know? I mean, if this tier list was made by Akuma players, you know they would put him here free. EX Demon Flip is all I have to say, though. EX Demon Flip is probably the most brain dead move in Street Fighter V. There's so much utility out of this one move. You can use it to get out of pressure. It randomly clips people on the way up and lets you side switch. You can end your strings in it and get out of the corner. You get a free mix up out of nowhere, you might just suddenly win the game because you're scared of the lower or the dive kick. Try to anti-air it, what are you doing? You might randomly just get thrown with the grab. Any gap you leave in the string, fireball, activate V-trigger, now you have to guess. Akuma crouching strong, medium kick pressure. The strings this man has just empowers online players. They can constantly press buttons. Everything converts so well that the risk you have for overextending versus Akuma is so great that why would they not just go ham? Standing medium kick constantly at any range. Just mash it. You're slightly off on your spacing. Oh, what? Guess what? Standing medium kick, EX red fireball. Standing medium kick, EX fireball, V trigger activate. You're dead. Medium punch, walk up, medium punch, medium punch. After blocking 15 crouching medium punches, they do standing medium kick and you get counter hit. Dummy. Why are you pressing buttons against Akuma? Even with the nerf V trigger one, he's up here, I think. The fact that it's so effective to be a degenerate Akuma player. It's just so effective. Rashid is still too low. I agree. Rashid is still a little bit above, but Akuma is definitely up here. And that's it. No one online is Galaxy Brain. Yeah, Rashid might go so far. He's over here. Like I said, this is more of a full circle than a straight line.